And welcome back to the show. I'm your boy, Jay Vaz. You're watching the Jay Vaz Show. Look, a week ago, we started posting with the whole Ralph Barbosa incident about George Lopez and how he doesn't like to help young Latinos, or just Latinos, period, how he doesn't like to help them out. Now, in the midst of all these things, I do want to point out that there is some positives. So I'm going to tell you guys some of the things that I think is positives about George Lopez, and then I'm going to let you guys be the judges. So to start off, he has a lot of Latinos on his show. He just recently helped out the little kid from the Inky Boys. Rest in peace to his dad, Randy. And on his podcast, he's had people like Snow the Product. He has people like Felipe Esparza, Steve Trevino, and a lot of other Hispanic, Mexican people on there. And it brought something to my attention. He's cool with helping people that are already established. But why is he not cool with helping the people on the come up, right? For example, Ralph wasn't even asking for a handout. It's not like Ralph was asking for his help. So that brought that into question. Now, about 3 weeks ago, my boy Smoothvega, make sure you follow him. I'm going to tag him. Smoothvega Podcast had Chris Perez, also known as Selena's husband, on his podcast. And one of the questions was his experience meeting George Lopez. And I'm going to let you guys be the judges. This is what Chris Perez had to say. Let's go.
Of course. And I had met George, and his vibe when I met him was really cool. You know, I met him at, I think it was a Latin Grammy performance. It might have been a Billboard Award back in Miami, back in the heyday when, you know. And I don't know, I know I've told this story. So I was getting into the elevator at some fancy hotel in Miami. I don't know if I talked about this before, and I was the only one in the elevator. I was just coming back from a sound check with the guys in the Cumbia All Stars with AB and all those guys. And I'm getting in the elevator and I hear like somebody running, you know, and some clanging noise. And I'm kind of like, oh, I thought I was going to be in the elevator by myself, right? Hey, hold the door. And so I was like, okay, I can't be, you know. So I held the door, and in walks George Lopez, you know, and I have the guitar on my back, and he looks at me and, you know, he's like, hey. I said, hey, what's up? He says, what do you got in there? And I'm like, oh, it's a Fender Strat. You know, we had an exchange, and he was really cool. And then the next day we had a stage sound check, and he was up on stage going over what he was going to be doing, you know, his monologue and certain introductions and things. And I kept hearing, psst, you know, yeah. I'm like, who's making that noise? And it's him at the podium, and he's like, hey, you know, and I liked him immediately. You know, he was just, it was like easy to hang with, you know what I mean? And there was no wall or the kind of like the facade or the ego thing. I didn't get any of that with him. So when the topic came up about the record label, whatever, like, for sure, you know, and they're okay, well, let's go, we'll talk about it over in Vegas of all places, and we'll talk about it and see how you feel. When I met him there again, dude, it was so crazy. I saw his show, and you know, he was one of Eddie Van Halen's best friends.
Oh wow!
And so you know, everybody that knows me knows that Eddie is he's my number one. You know,
he's your goat.
Yeah. So, you know, of course, I'm waiting to get the business talk over with so that I could, you know, hit him up with these questions I had, and that's exactly what I did, man. And we ended up having a great night. And so he does a show, and then afterwards we go backstage and we're hanging out, and I walk into the room and there's a freaking Eddie Van Halen guitar. And I said, wait a minute, is that what I think it is? He goes, yeah, he gave me that one. And I was like, dude, he goes, check it out. And there I am, you know, it was just surreal, bro. It was, you know, and those are